The journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Our grammar topic explains us about the reported speech with an emphasis in time and location expression. In the first way, so we said that in unreported speech, we sometimes change expression describing time and location. If it refers to the same thing, it doesn't need to change. Adverbs. The adverb does not change if the time, place remain the same. In direct speech, I came here yesterday. When you do the report the same day, so maybe this activity happened in the morning and you do the report in the afternoon in the same day, so it doesn't change. In direct speech, we say I came here yesterday. In reported speech, he says he came here yesterday. The second form that we can use the adverbs when the time and place adverb change if the time or place is no longer the same as in the direct speech. When you do the report the next day, the next month, the next week, or maybe in years, so you have to change. In direct speech form, we use, for example, 10 minutes ago, last week, next week. We have to change those direct speech explaining about time and location in a report speech or or also call it as indirect speech. For example, direct speech 10 minutes ago, report speech before or earlier. Direct speech last week, report speech the previous week, week before. Direct speech next week. In report speech the following week or after or week after. In direct speech now, report the speech at that time, immediately then. Direct speech this week, report the speech last or that week. Direct speech today, report the speech that day, yesterday, on Monday. Direct speech tomorrow, report the speech the next following day, the day after. In direct speech yesterday, in report the speech the previous day or day before. Practice working about two examples when you will understand about the difference between direct speech and indirect speech. For example, in direct speech, I will see you tomorrow. We report the next day and we change for indirect speech or reported speech, and I say Jackie said she will see the next day. That is when you have to change the time. Tomorrow in direct speech, in reported speech, it's the next day, correct? According to the last chart that we see. I will see you this week. In reported speech, Jackie said she will see me that week. To practice about this topic about report the speech for time and location, so we have an activity specifically in your student book when you can find according to the time expression and how can you change indirect speech. What is the indirect speech that we use when we say here, now, today, yesterday, last week, tomorrow, and next week? To solve this activity, so we have to go to the last chart that we've seen to complete this activity, okay? So when I say here, we can use indirect speech there, time expression now, we use them or that day, tomorrow, the following day, or day after, okay? When we change from direct speech to indirect speech, we have to change the time and location to report the speech or indirect speech according to the time that you do the report. Only when you do the report the next day or the time change, so you have to replace the direct speech for the indirect speech. Following of this activity, so we have two alternatives according to the vocabulary words to say and to tell. Those will help us to change from the indirect speech to report the speech. We have blame, explain, admit, promise, insist. Blame, announce, refuse, offer, suggest, and apologize. In the next activity that we have, so you have to recognize when can we use those different kind of words. And this is the follow activity that we have to explain about this. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video.